The snow-capped peak behind me is indicative of the fact that it's October here in the Nevada desert. We're at Spring Mountain Raceway near Pahrump, Nevada. And for round number 9 of the Dodge Viper Cup, we've got kind of a special guest. He's made it exciting all through practice and qualifying, but he missed the drivers' meeting. So Tanner Faust is going to be starting well back. So he has an opportunity to make this spectacular. This is Dodge Viper Cup.
We are down to the final 2 rounds of the Dodge Viper Cup, and at a brand new venue, Spring Mountain Motorsports Ranch in Pahrump, Nevada. A beautiful venue in the shadow of the Sheep Mountains, but you get down trackside, there's some bad racing that's about to unfold. There is the starting grid. We are getting ready. Ryan Schimsk, an amazing job, 6th pole of the year. Keith Verges, his 3rd front row qualifying effort. Ben Keating comes in 2nd in the points, and Jim Stout, one of his best qualifying efforts of the season. Same for Eric Delarin and Connie Bogan as they fill out row 3. Then Dave Mazik and Tanner Faust, one of our guest drivers. You see where it says disqualified there. Ironically, folks, pretty much the rest of the field were moved to the back of the pack because they missed the drivers' meeting. Again, I know, it's been a bit of a habit this year. This is going to be interesting to see some very quick drivers in the back of the pack. The green flag is shown at the back of the grid, Tom. We are ready to go racing, round 9.
All right, but first of all, let's make sure that everybody knows where the drivers' meeting is. We're going racing, Greg.
And there it is. We are underway. Tanner Faust, that red Viper on the far right of your screen, getting a great launch. He had a tremendous qualifying time, would have started 3rd, folks. You see all of that dirt and debris being blown up in the air, and Tom, that was because of a previous race.
Yeah, 25-minute delay for an oil down that went almost all the way around this 3.1-mile course, so we knew it was going to be tough on these Dodge Viper Cup guys in the first lap, and you see it firsthand. Ben Keating's getting a full face full of that speedy drive.
Getting a bunch of junk thrown up, and he has gotten around Keith Verges, slotted into that 2nd spot, forcing Verges back into 3rd, and there's the look. That is Schimsk leading, and Keating right behind. These two have been at it all year long, and Verges, more often than not, has been right in the mix as well. So we're back to status quo, but it's awfully exciting stuff.
You know, this isn't a track that anybody really does a lot of testing at, except for Michael Von Quilich, who happens to live in Pahrump. So it's still a learning process for most of these guys. This is primarily a driver's school track. This is the first professional television race they've ever held here.
And what a show, especially by Tanner Faust, already up to 4th. You saw him in the background making his way around a couple more cars. And folks, we're but halfway through this opening lap on this long track. Once again, Keating racy early.
You know, Ben Keating will definitely go 11/10 when he sees an opportunity, and he knows this is the opportunity. With the compromised friction on the course, you can see Tanner Faust coming up through the back there, so they're going to make it a trio. Now, while the course is compromised in terms of friction, Ben Keating knows that this suits his style. Just maybe a little bit too much.
And I'll tell you what, compromised friction, that is where Tanner Faust lives. As you take a look, as he makes the move up through the pack here and gets by Keating at that point. Tanner Faust loves it sideways, so these low grip situations, I think, really playing into his hands.
Absolutely, because he has that feel in his right foot. He knows when they're lighting up and he knows when they're not. And Tanner Faust used that to come all the way up through the Dodge Viper Cup grid in probably some of the toughest conditions we've seen all year.
Key corner right there, turn 16, leads them on to the longest straight here, and it has been lengthened even further than that. As you can see, there's the pavement change as they get down now into what they call the new bus stop section, and then a couple of tight right-handers, then into a swoopy S section, then onto the front straight once again. And look at this, Tanner Faust is eating dust, but eating it up, takes a peek, little wide there, has to tuck back in. Great action, and we're not even done with lap 1.
You get the feeling Tanner Faust is just trying to feel his way around Ryan Schimsk. He's definitely there, and the number 33 car of Ben Keating still in contention.
You saw right there Little bit of a protective early turn in by Schimsk. He's certainly aware that Tanner is there. The interesting thing is Tanner being smart here, he's letting Schimsk sort of, break the path here, see exactly where you can go, and I think he realizes, I can go in a little bit deeper than Ryan is. That's why he's being so aggressive. But you can see, Tom, that track's still dirty.
And it's a long race, and Tanner Faust has definitely been around the block a couple of times. This is turning out to be a great race at the front, but keep in mind, Ryan Schimsk has a championship to win here. So a good finish, especially relative to Ben Keating, extremely important. Be back.
With so much racing going on in the world, you'd have to be a four-headed monster to keep up with it all. Luckily, we have that. Join Peter Keane, Bill Wood, Errol Tucker, and their guest driver analyst each week for an opinionated look at the news coming out of the racing world. Remember, it's GoRacingTV.com for all your racing and video needs.
We're back, round 9 of the Dodge Viper Cup, Spring Mountain Motorsports Ranch, and Tom, this really is an oasis.
It's got virtually everything going for it. Over 80 garages, a beautiful clubhouse, even a spa, a gun range, and a great driver's school. This facility, relatively unknown in the road racing communities, it is a fantastic facility, and look at the racing you get from it.
Oh, and aggressive racing too. That's Jeff Courtney, that red Viper with the black hood trying to squeeze by Gilles, and they touch. And Gilles, a very aggressive squeeze play, and it resulted in a little bit of contact down in turn 1, but Courtney gets through. Well, that was some pretty tough racing on Gilles' part.
Outside the rules of Canterbury, they say. Or perhaps the rules of engagement, as I'll say. As Eric Gilles, he races with a lot of passion. I'd love to watch this green 37 car race.
Oh, he hustles it to be sure, but now he's got Mike Von Quilich and Carl Black as we hop on board with the 19 of Von Quilich. That's the red Viper with the white hood on it, and right behind him is Black. And look at the run. Von Quilich gets up the inside, but he drops those left side tires. You saw that little bit of dirt spritz up, loses some grip. Gilles going to tuck back down the inside. It looks like Gilles may have it, but he doesn't. Von Quilich again, straight lines to the apex, but you can see how dusty it is there. No grip. Gilles through, and Carl Black coming through as well.
And the beneficiary is Carl Black. He's just stayed patient enough as they go over that little yump there. Carl Black saw this whole thing happening in front of him. Naturally, these two guys slow down a little bit. He knew he had the momentum. Don't you love that about 650 horsepower, single mate racing?
Absolutely, and these shots as Von Quilich down the inside forces him out. Black's going to try and gather it up all over the back. Unbelievable images that we're seeing here. And Tom, it's a very special camera program that gives us these incredible shots. A little bit earlier in the weekend, you gave us a tour.
The 2010 version of the Viper Cup has been a spectacular program to put together. And there's a lot of people who never got any credit for it, but Richard, Tom, Dee, Richie, Colin, Selwyn, you guys all know who you are. Here's our 7th man. It's called the GoPro camera. These things cost about $300, and you just don't get shots like this without them. These protective cases make them durable. In fact, you can even go underwater with them. But as you can see from this protective case that Ralph Gilles had in his car a while back, they actually come in very handy. You know, motorsports is a dramatic affair, and you have to get close and personal with the race cars to make shots like you're seeing right now. And without them, Dodge Viper Cup simply wouldn't be the same series. So for the want of a $300 camera, which you can strap to your head, strap to your bicycle handlebars, or strap to whatever you think is appropriate, one of these little things can go a long way.
Oh, sure, you've generated some interesting ideas with that last comment.
Leave it alone. The fact is these little cameras have been doing yeoman service in the Dodge Viper Cup. Von Quilich and Gilles still not done.
Boy, an awesome battle. You can see now Courtney's been able to get away because of these two going back and forth. And Von Quilich, obviously, with that aggressive move, able to get around Carl Black and keep him behind him now. But he is still in attack mode here on Gilles, heaping the pressure on.
There's a corner that almost never seems to end. Can it be more than 360 degrees? It seems to keep going, and then into this left-hand transition here, you can see the rocks starting to fly off the edges of this track as Michael Von Quilich, with a lot of local knowledge here, knows where it goes fast, and he's using all of that local knowledge now.
Oh, he's down to the inside, Gilles, but now he's off. I don't think Gilles expected in there, maybe came across a little bit, and you can see the size. Those look like boulders to that low camera, and oh my, what a ride. But I've seen state coaches and Westerns have smoother rides than that.
I take it back. I don't think that is the fast line for Mike Von Quilich. There's some damage on that Dodge Viper Cup car. As you can see, the left front taken out there, and is that all dust or is some of that steam?
No, that's steam. There's steam mixed in. You can see the damage underneath, and oh, look at it spritzing there out of that left side of that radiator from his perspective. And I don't care how good a car it is, you put a beating on it like that, it's going to take up some damage. So there's your order at this stage, and as a result of this and all the debris on track, we're full course caution.
Hi there, I'm Tom Natchu, and this is Greg Kramer. We're called the old bastards of racing in many circles. You know, I guess we met back in the late 1980s.
Easy. It had to be at least that far back. Glory day of some racing, too.
Oh, absolutely. Trans Am was a part of the picture, and actually I learned to do pro announcing from this man around the Trans Am Championship. Oh, that is a long time ago.
A very long time ago, but I'll tell you what, you take a look at Trans Am racing in the early 90s in particular, the names that were running at that time. But the other side of the story was World Challenge was really starting to come alive at that point. And the names in that, there were sometimes you'd look at the two rosters and go, you know, I'm not sure which one is the most talent. Some amazing stuff from those decades past. And of course, a lot of those drivers also doubling up, running amateur racing in the runoffs. And it was spectacular stuff.
Now, Go Racing TV has got all of that action, Trans Am World Challenge, and even some runoff material, all coming up over the next season. That's going to be something to watch.
I know, to be able to relive those 2 decades of motorsports from the Sports Car Club of America's Pro Racing Department, Trans Am World Challenge, and then you include the National Amateur Championships, the runoff, the intense battles that unfolded there. It simply doesn't get any better than that, and it lives again right here on GoRacingTV.com.
Because I need to spend more time in front of my computer.
There are always snakes in the mountains, but this place is loaded with Vipers today. Spring Mountain Motorsports Ranch. It is a Viper Days event, Viper Racing League here. Certainly the Dodge Viper Cup, driving school, they've got it all. But we've got a replay, Tom. This was spectacular from Carl Black's onboard.
Michael Von Quilich just drops his 2 right side wheels off initially there, and Carl Black takes him right in the face. You saw the low-mounted camera, and you see what he sees now, which is not very much. I dare say it's over for Carl Black.
Yeah, he drove through a debris field, and it was some boulders. It was amazing stuff. Meanwhile, we've been watching these wonderful Viper ACRX cars racing all season long. Spectacular action. They are an amazing piece of kit, and we asked the president CEO of the Dodge brand, Ralph Gilles, to give us a tour.
Hello, my name is Ralph Gilles. I'm CEO of the Dodge brand, and this is a Dodge Viper. There are very few car people around the world that don't know what the Viper's all about. And the car is very special. It's been around for almost 20 years, but this one's different. And this is what makes a Viper ACRX different. Everything. In the engine, we've fortified the engine with forged pistons, headers, taken away the air conditioning condenser. We have a thicker rotor for a little more heat dissipation. On the interior vehicle, we take out all unnecessary insulation and carpet. We have a very high-tech racing seat and a computer-designed safety cell race cage with fire suppression. The back of the car, we have a differential cooler, a built-in fuel cell, and the world's biggest wing, which also comes standard on the base ACR. So altogether, you have probably the best turnkey sports car and racing series in the world.
Well, we've seen evidence of that all season long, Tom, and we're seeing it today. There you have a great look. Ryan Schimsk perhaps going for a championship today, but he has got Tanner Foust in that red Viper as we hop on board with Schimsk looking back. There's Foust. You see Ben Keating not that far back at this stage, and these guys are seriously going after it. Now, do keep in mind, we have a chunk of this track currently under a caution because of all that debris in the parked car of Von Quilich. Other than that, this is what we're seeing.
It's great racing where it's not yellow, and this track has a high-tech system so that they don't use flaggers at all, Greg. They use these standards, which are solar-powered and all controlled from a central part of the racetrack. It might be a little much for these guys to get used to racing.
Oh, look at Faust taking a look, and speaking of one of those areas, you see all that junk come up. We're now in an area of the track that is under caution here, and it is because of all that debris that Von Quilich threw up, and Keating makes a pass. I don't know that he necessarily saw that yellow flashing on those standards, as you said. He's just driving around the outside of everybody.
Well, Ben Keating saw an opening and he went for it. He might be a little bewildered now. Why was that quite so easy? But, you know, Ben Keating's a professional driver. He's used to seeing flaggers. He may not have seen that yellow indicated by those flashing boards.
Well, I think that's indicated by Verges in the background. Also took a bit of a look as well. So obviously a little bit confusing right now. And they're used to, as you said, flaggers standing out there that can wave it, get in their face a little bit. And we're in the green section, and right there, Schimsk said, that's it, I'm coming back around you. You shouldn't be there anyway, but if I got to race you, I will. And Keating defends at this point, but I don't think he's going to last long up front, and I think it's going to be an official's decision.
Yeah, absolutely. But for all Ben Keating knows right now, he's doing what he has to do, which is win this race. The only way he can mathematically win this championship is to lead, and Ben Keating has taken the opportunity to do that. Let's see what the officials say.
Well, that might very well have clouded him. He just saw the opportunity and didn't see those flashing yellows and went for it. So Ryan Schimsk, you can see now, they are scoring already. Timing and scoring is showing Schimsk in the first spot. So they understand what's going on. And Keating thinks he's going to be able to open this one up, drive away, and maybe keep that championship alive. And I think Schimsk might understand at this point, no, I've got this one, at least in terms of Keating.
It doesn't take long for the drum beats to go all the way down pit lane to all the crew chiefs. They know what's going on now. Maybe Ben Keating doesn't have a radio in the car, or maybe he's saying, wait a minute, you know, I'm in the front. I'm certainly not going to give this up as they end that straightaway and go around to click another lap. We'll have to see what happens on the front straight.
Yep, now through that twisty little bit of an S section that leads them and blends them back onto the front straight. You can see Schimsk has closed it right back up again. He's taking advantage of any opportunity. There's the black flag. There it is for Keating. You saw the graphic come up showing him in the 10th spot. So the officials have made the call. We'll be back to round 9.
The club, an amateur racer. Here at Go Racing TV, we salute you. And we want to give you all the tools and info to compete with the best. Find out how to do it all from your own garage by watching our Club Racer and Autocrosser shows. GoRacingTV.com, supplying all your video racing needs.
Into the final couple laps of this 9th round of the Dodge Viper Cup here at Spring Mountain Motorsports Ranch. And in terms of who's leading, well, things are getting curiouser and curiouser. Right now, we've got Ben Keating physically leading on the track. There he is at this stage, but he's being scored in 10th, and he's got the race leader and potential champion right behind him.
It's a question of two sections of the track being held under yellow. And some have interpreted it as a full course yellow, and some have interpreted it as local yellows. Either way, Ben Keating has gotten the black flag there. He passed in one of those yellow zones. But mathematically, he must win this race if he's ever going to have a chance to win the championship, and you take it from there. I think he's making a smart move.
Well, he's doing what he has to do. If he drives it home, brings it home, and we are now on our final lap, by the way. If he brings it home, wins it, and then manages to win an appeal on it, well, then he keeps the championship alive. If he doesn't and he ends up 2nd, 3rd, 10th, wherever, doesn't matter. He's second in the championship because Schimsk will clinch. And so I think that's exactly what Ben's doing. But you can see Schimsk has his own business to be dealing with right now, and it is the rock star Viper of this guy, Tanner Faust, who, and now we're into that yellow zone. You see all the junk on the track?
Speaking of rocks.
Yeah, exactly. And that is why that section of track remains yellow, and that's why we've had some of these issues. But the simple fact of the matter is, what does Tanner do? You know, do you run down this champion and battle him and risk knocking him out of the championship, or do you just say, nah, I'm just going to learn from him here and race him tomorrow?
And get a lot of TV time from my sponsor. I mean, he sticks his nose under there almost every opportunity that he gets. I don't think Tanner Faust wants any part of this. It's been good for him to follow Ryan Schimsk. It's going to look great for this driver.
Absolutely.
Round number 10 is Tanner Faust has an opportunity to say, you know, the championship's settled. Now let's go out there and see if we can race. And I just heard a rumor that Gilles will be back for round number 10. What a way to battle these two at the front of, or any part of a Dodge Viper Cup race.
Well, we know the pace Ralph has, and he's got to deal with these guys, but I'll tell you what, Tanner is certainly keeping Schimsk honest here as they work through this twisty section of track. Once again, this is the final lap, and this is what it's all about. If Schimsk finishes here and does get the win by virtue of what we're seeing, he will be champion. So this is a huge moment. Tanner Faust doing everything he can to try and hound him and stay close, be a part of the show as they're working now toward that key, turn 16, leads him onto that elongated backstretch. You got to get out of here well and make this run down this long stretch of track.
From our racekeeper camera, you can see that big pink ribbon on Tanner Faust's nose there. Boy, have the Dodge boys ever put together a good program for this. You know, if they have an opportunity to have an auction, you could win VIP tickets to a NASCAR race. You could be with Tanner Faust at Long Beach when they're drifting there, and a whole other package. So a lot of people getting behind this pink ribbon this weekend.
Absolutely, as they should. An incredibly worthy cause. And onto the front straight. Last time, here comes Ben Keating again, and you can see the flagman's got the checker, but he keeps it behind him. He waves him off. So he is doing exactly what scoring is saying. Here comes your winner and champion-elect, assuming it all holds. And there is Schimsk with Faust, a very, very impressive second in his first run in these machines. And I'll tell you what, that is one happy guy. Here are the official results. Schimsk, Faust, and Verges, your podium. Stout, one of his best finishes of the year. Courtney back in the top 5. And you see the rest of them. Solberger having an issue, then Von Quilich and Black caught up on that maelstrom of rocks and boulders. Now here are the points. Schimsk should clinch with this, but look at that tie for 5th between Von Quilich and Connie Bogan. And with that, folks, let's get down to Tom, who is with our champion-elect. Tom?
Well, Ryan Schimsk, we've seen you win from the pole. We've seen you win from a little ways back. But that's an interesting way to run a race, isn't it?
Yeah, you know, it was great to get the pole position today, and Tanner and I had a great race. He was really close in some sections. I was able to gap him in other places. We had a really excellent race, excellent clean race. And, you know, I guess some other cars had some problems on the track, resulting in a full course caution. I guess one of the racers ended up passing under yellow, both Tanner and I, and I guess that gave me the victory and Tanner second place. So great result for the team, clinched the championship. Couldn't have asked for anything else.
Let's talk about that championship. You know, you came into this at Virginia International Raceway with your eyes set firmly on that championship, and you and your team have really never let that goal slip away.
Yeah, I kind of came into the series with something to prove to myself. I took a couple years off from racing and got the opportunity to drive this wonderful car. I got to thank Dodge for putting together this program, giving me that opportunity. You know, you can't ask for a better program than this. It's a car that's affordable for everybody to come and race. They put up a ton of money, ton of sponsorship for the series. They go to great places. They have great personnel. And this is a great starter series for just about anybody to get into.
All right, Tanner. First ever Dodge Viper Cup race. What a debut.
Yeah, that was, wow, there was a lot going on there. It was like Mad Max for a little while. I mean, smoke in the, you know, on the horizon and cars off everywhere. But I mean, what a kick! You know, Ryan's a really fast guy, and it was great. He out-qualified me, so it was great to follow him around, learn a little bit about the track, learn a little bit about the cars. I mean, the ACRX is really pretty amazing for a kit that you can just buy. So it's too bad it finished under yellow. I was looking for a couple laps there. I'd saved the car. I was trying to be smart, but there's always tomorrow.
This should be an indication of just how hard Keith Verges had to race, not only all year, but all weekend long. You know, you kind of came to third place in this race, race number 9, through the back door after some stuff happened in front of you. But, hey, third is a third.
Hey, all I can say is I have to first thank Gorondona Associates. They put me in this car. Brad Gorondona is great, as well as Apex Driving Academy. But that race was crazy, and I got lucky. But hey, luck counts. I've had some bad luck too this season.
You know, we're closing in on the championship, and you're getting awfully close to being able to lock up third place. How much is that on your mind?
It's on my mind a fair bit. I want to drive pretty conservatively, pretty smart, so I have a good car underneath me at the end and don't squander any points.
Well, a key fourth podium on the season certainly helps out, but there is Ryan Schimsk. You know, 10 rounds in this championship. We haven't even run the last one yet, and he's already won half of them. That's an impressive season, and he certainly deserves to be champion. But we do have one yet to go. That'll be coming up right here. Join us then. Take care, everybody.